Hello, YouTube land. Thank you for tuning in again. It is September 18, 2020, pre-release day 1 of Zendikar Rising. So the earlier two videos included me opening up the boosters that came in 2 different pre-release packs. So tune into that, comment on those, and tell me what I should build out of each pack, and I will play it against my girlfriend. Each one of us will be playing one of those packs against each other, but we don't have any experience doing this, so leave your input for that. Over here, my local game store, King's Games in Brooklyn, was giving out promos for buying it from their store. So it was 2 extra boosters per pre-release pack. And they're still in stock with these promo ones for M21, and you can't buy these yet. You can buy them next week, but they are giving these kinds of boosters away. Which one should I save for last? Well, let's just go through these 4 real quick, because I have a feeling it will be quick on the count of how many duplicates I was already seeing after opening up just 6. I'm going through one box, starting to see repeats on 7 and 8 and 9, and so let's see what we end up with. So stuff that I opened up in the earlier packs, I'm gonna go through quicker. Oh, okay. This is gonna go with the 2 mythic Jaces I pulled. 1 mythic Jace per pre-release box. And please explain to me why he's mythic and why he's good, because I am not getting it. These are in a different order. That's weird. The ones in the pre-release pack did not start out with lands and tokens first, and rare was not the top card. Alright, Hagra Mauling. This spell costs 1 less if you cast an opponent. This spell costs 1 less to cast if an opponent controls no basic lands. Okay, so if my opponent has no basic lands, this is an ordinary murder. Murder. Comes into play untapped. Enters tapped. Womp womp womp. This would have been good if it was, you know, comes into play untapped. I mean, it's a rare. You know, it's one thing if it's the commons, uncommons that come into play tapped. Alright, Fireblade Charger. As long as it's equipped, it has haste. Otherwise, we got ourselves a Goblin Warrior. 1/1 for 1. And if it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Okay, this guy is not bad. Ruin Crab, landfall. So 1 blue for 0/3. Landfall, opponent mills 3 cards. Okay, I do want a play set of these, and this is the second one today. Acquisitions Expert. 2 mana for 1/2 Human Rogue. Enters the battlefield. Target opponent reveals a number of cards from their hand equal to the number of creatures in your party. Choose one of those cards. That player discards that card. Okay. This is not so bad. I mean, isn't Duress like to just make your opponent discard 1 card and they cost the same? This is a creature and a Duress and potentially more. Alright, Cliff this thing. This was definitely in the packs I opened. And 1 mana to give something flying. It just comes into play and it's equipped. Alright, got a couple of these already. Got a couple of those. Got this. Got this guy already. Strength of Solidarity. Choose target creature you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature in your party. Party matters. Party matters. Pyroclastic Helion. Enters the battlefield. You may return a land you control to its owner's hand. When you do, this thing deals 2 damage to each opponent. Alright, 5 mana to get some land drop fuel and deal some damage. That's not bad. Expedition Diviner, pulled that already. Oh, this looks like it's out of Ikoria. Cat Beast. Okay, 4 mana for 2/3 with Vigilance and Landfall. Landfall gives a +1/+1. That's not terrible. I mean, it's not great. I would rather have pulled this in the pre-release pack. Cleansing Wildfire. 2 mana, destroy target land. Ooh, destroy target land for just 2 mana? Oh, its controller may search their library for a basic land to replace it. I get to draw a card, though. I mean, if someone's playing in a deck with no basic lands, that's much more effective. Alright, so I suppose that could be a sideboard card. Play someone round 1, see no basic lands. Put it in then. Come on. Why don't you give me some codes to play on Arena, like Pokemon does? Alright, I mean, I would have taken a token instead of that. Okay, we got ourselves a foil uncommon, 3 mana, 2/2 flying, human wizard, wind rider, wizard. Oh, I like the effect on his wings. Are you guys able to see that? The effect on his wings? Whenever you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Sounds familiar. Did I pull a non-shiny one of him? And our rare Shadow's Verdict, 5 mana. Exile all creatures and planeswalkers with converted mana cost 3 or less from the battlefield, and all creatures and planeswalkers with converted 3 mana or less from all graveyards. Could be a good board wipe. Depends on your opponent. And our flip card is creatures you control get -2, -0 until end of turn, and tappity tapper. Tap land. Concerted Defense. Counter target non-creature spell. I think I pulled one of these already. Shatterskull Minotaur. 6 mana for a 5/4. This thing costs 1 less for each creature in your party and has haste. Shell Shield. Yep, pulled that earlier. Highborn Vampire. Yeah, pulled that earlier. Oh, here's a classic. Unchanged Disenchant. Like around in all expansions forever. Unchanged. Pulled a couple of him before. Pulled a couple of him before. Pulled that before. Pulled one of these before and liked it for the flavor. Pulled one in this art and in other art. Fissure Wizard. Enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Oh, so you don't have to, but you can if you wanna. See, before I would use this kind of ability later on when I'm getting more lands than I need. But now with all this landfall in this set, is there such a thing as lands you don't need? Is there such a thing as extra land? Come on, these packs are like different. Besides your packing order, just opening them is different. That's interesting. Ugh, I would have rather gotten a token. If you're not going to give me a code, why bother at all? Put the ads on the plastic. Put the ads on the wrapper. Oh, Lotus Cobra and its foil. That's nice. I don't really follow what stuff is worth, but this should be something, right? It's 2 mana for 2/1 with landfall. And the landfall is... you just get free mana. Pseudo ramp. What's the value on that foil? Let me know in the comments. Okay. Grakmaw Skyclave Ravager. 3 mana. Enters the battlefield with 3 counters on it. Whenever another creature you control dies, if it had a counter on it, put a counter on Grakmaw. Do you get the same amount of counters? Or just one counter? Just one counter, right? Oh, this is a Hydrahar. Okay. When it dies, create XX black and green Hydro creature tokens where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Grakmaw. Hold on, what? When it dies, create XX black and green Hydra token creatures where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on. Oh, create an. Okay, create one. Create one. So when this thing dies, I replace it with the exact same thing. It's not less heads, it's not more heads, it's the same amount of power, toughness. Did I get that right? Let me know in the comments if I got that right. If it dies, it just gets replaced with something just as big as it was. Skyclave Cleric. Skyclave Cleric. Enters the battlefield, gain 2 life for 2 mana. 2 life gets us a 1/3 and 2 mana. Or we cast it as a tapped Skyclave Basilica. Oh, a non-foil version of that guy. Blood Chief's Thirst. Alright. Ooh, you're not a bad looking lady. Looking kind of cool and powerful. For 1 black, destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana 2 or less. If it was kicked, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Okay, that's not too bad. Pretty sure the going rate to kill a planeswalker and or creature is about that. Another one of these guys. Oh, this is my 3rd or 4th one of her. Pretty happy to get her. I think I'm happy with 3. Scale the Heights. Yep, another one of that. Smite the Monstrous. Yep, it's another one of that. Ugh, another one of that. Oh, another one of... Just because I'm seeing this links, I think I've already pulled like 5 or 6 of them. I think I'm starting to hate it. Just because I'm seeing so many of them. Nahiri's Binding. Okay, that's a 3rd one of that. And 2nd or 3rd one of that. Okay, so getting on to that 4th bonus booster. Okay. And our rare is an Inscription of Ruin. 3 mana or kick it for another 4. Choose 1. If this spell was kicked, choose any number instead. Okay. So for 7 mana, we can make a target opponent discard 2 cards, return a creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield, and destroy target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. I mean, that's a nice late game answer to some choice problems, I suppose. Beacon Veil. Creatures you control, creatures your opponents control. Okay, yeah, I think I got one of these already. Yep. Yeah. Glad to get another one of her. Anticognition. Okay. 2 mana, counter target creature or planeswalker spell unless its controller pays 2. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, instead counter that spell, then scry 2. Okay, this has potential. Expedition Skulker, Vampire Rogue, 2 mana for a 2/2. Has Death Touch as long as you control another rogue. Core Celebrant. And 3 mana gets us a 1/4. Enters the battlefield. When this guy or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain 1 life. Dauntless Survivor. Enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature. So 2 mana gives us a 1/1 that can pump another creature. Or itself. Another one of him. Angel Heart Protector, Human Cleric. She looks kind of cool. 3 mana, 3/2. Enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. If only this thing had flash. That would be really effective. Royal Eruption, 2 or 7. For 2 mana, deal 3 damage to any target, and for 7, deal 5 damage. Into the Royal. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If the spell was kicked, draw a card. So, bounce and draw. Turn Timber Ascetic. It's a giant cleric. 5 mana for 5/4. Enters the battlefield, gain 3 life. Alright, I have to say, these boosters had different content than those pre-release boosters. I feel like better or just more varied content was appreciated, and stuff was in a different order, which is that normal? Do pre-release boosters come different like that? Alright, well, you know what, this is gonna have to wait for video number 4. Or you know what, this has been shorter than the others. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. What comes in one of these set boosters? Because I had my heart set on buying a box of these as opposed to the drafter boost box. And there's like about a $20 difference between the two, and I'm not doing actual drafting. Alright. This is pretty, whatever this is. What is it? What is this? Angel of Destiny art series. So it's not a card. It's just a pretty thing. Okay, pretty thing. Alright. More of that. More of that. Reclaim the Wastes. 1 green or a kicker for 3 more. Search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it. Put it in your hand. Shuffle your library if the spell was kicked. Oh, yeah. I had pulled one of these already. Nissa Zendikar. Enchant land. The land becomes a 4/4 elemental creature with reach and haste. It's still land. When the land dies, return that card to its owner's hand. Okay. I mean, it's be better if it was a little cheaper, but it's not a bad spell. Roost of Drakes. Yep, pulled that earlier. Yeah, pulled that earlier. Some are close in this pile. Skyclave Shadowcat. That is a horror. Definitely not a cat. Definitely a horror. 4 mana for a 3/3. Sack a creature. Put a +1 counter on it. Yeah, pulled that earlier. Silundi Vision. It's an uncommon instant. Look at the top 6 cards of your library for 3 mana. You may reveal an instant or sorcery and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Or it's a Isle. Comes into play tapped. Tajuru Snarecaster. It's 3 mana for 1/4 with reach. Cascade Seer. Enters the battlefield, scry X. X is the number of creatures in your party. So it's a 3/3 merfolk wizard. At least she looks more merfolky here than the other merfolks. Shadow's Verdict. I pulled this rare already, so kind of disappointing. And I pulled this foil also, and we got a plant token. Wow, and that's supposed to be only 12 cards in this thing. And I'm not happy with that. I got the same rare I already pulled and the same foil I already pulled. I'm not impressed with that booster. I'm not. Now I'm highly reconsidering and glad I wasn't able to buy that box of boosters today. That's a good pull, right, guys? Ugin, Spirit Dragon, Mythic, with the special thingy marker thing. This is a good pull, right? Right, guys? What's this thing worth? Okay, what does he do? I don't know. 8 mana, +2, 3 damage to any target, -X. Exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less from... That's more... I'm too excited. Calm down. Exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. Alright, so anything of color that costs X or less. -10 gets us gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Wow. This was kind of worth it. Heartfire Immolator. I think I've pulled this before in one form or another. It's a 2 mana 2/2 with prowess. You can sack them, deal damage equal to its power. Yeah, I have a couple of these guys, but I don't know if I had them in this spell book, whatever you call this version. And a Midnight Reaper. Oh yeah, I think I wanted this. Whenever non-token creature you control dies, Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you and I draw a card. No, actually I didn't want this. And the last one is our arena code for a booster. Okay, so that's that. Thanks for tuning in, YouTube land. If I pulled something of particular value, I'm assuming it was Ugin, but if there's anything beyond that, let me know. What did I pull that's interesting and valuable? Thanks for tuning in, YouTube land. Comment on those other 2 pre-release videos and let me know which builds you would make. I really do want to do that. Tell me what to put together and we'll play it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you out there, YouTube land. Professional.